Hi everybody, welcome to Fast Home Brew. It's been a long time coming. I'm making BrewDog's Punk IPA. Finally, I came up with a recipe that wasn't going to cost a bomb. So here it is, it's a Punk IPA, and this is the recipe here, but I had to make some adjustments to it. So first of all, I'm doing 27 litres, not 20, so then I had to scale everything up to that. But then when I added up the hops, it was going to be like $150 and all this leftovers, so what I did was scaled it back again afterwards, and I've ended up using about 80% of the hops that I should for the start and bittering, and about 85% of what I should be using according to the recipe in the end and for dry hops. Alright, so here's the water going in. Now, if you remember last week it was way too full and there's a lot of grains again, so this time I'm taking some water out and I'm just going to add that back in afterwards. So, temperature's ready for the mash. Here come the grains, and this is a pretty simple grain bill. It's 95% ale malt, 5% caramel malt, so nothing too tricky going on there. Check the temperature, and it's a little bit low. I'm supposed to be mashing at 65, and this is already down at 63, which is a little bit of a worry, but hopefully it's a false reading. Hopefully it's just the grains being too cold. No, it's not a false reading. My mash temperature's dropped too low. So what am I going to do? Got to try and get this guy down the side so I can turn the element on, and in theory that little guy will protect the grain bag from the element in case it's touching. So get the grain bag set back up again, give it a stir, and heat goes back on for a bit, and fingers crossed, I suppose. Okay, so we're done now, and blanket comes off and bag comes out. There we go. Get that straining away, and also look at this, I tied a piece of string on it. Isn't that clever? I don't have to fish around with the spoons like some kind of dummy that can't get it in. Oh, and the water's going back in from before, and the grains get squeezed as always, and then the squeezy grains go back in the end. And now we're waiting for it to boil. Okay, here's all the hops that I need. What a lot. I've got Simcoe and Nelson, Cascade, that's Chinook, that's Artarmon, and Amarillo. Yes, Amarillo. Okay, so this is me setting up the Artarmon here. That was my bittering edition. That one's for flavour, and this is for the end as well. Here comes the Chinook. That's another bittering edition, and the middle and the end. And now some Simcoe going in. And this one's Cascade, I think. So, look at that. That is a decent series of hops. So let's give it a go, hey? This is the actual beer itself, and it looks pretty good. I think I won't mind having some of these. Yep. Max says hello. And cool. Yep, definitely made a good choice trying to make this particular beer. So, hop spider goes in, and here's my a bittering edition of Artarmon. That's going in ahead of the Chinook because, according to my calculator, that's the Chinook going in then. Would have been way too bitter. There's the Whirlflock going in with 10 minutes to go. This is my middle edition of hops with, I think, 5 minutes to go. And now Flame Out. And then a couple of minutes... Oh, Science. Got that bit for Science. A couple of minutes after Flame Out, the final flavouring edition goes in. That's all good. And so now we're getting ready for the whirlpool, and I'll try and get as much goodness out of there as I can. There we go. Get every last drop. Okay, and now we're draining into the kib. So there it is, filling up. All good. Now tip out the last bit, and hopefully nice and full. There we go. Good. Good. Oh, and up into the shed overnight. That'll cool down, ready for the yeast the next day. The yeast? That's a whole nother story. So this is yesterday. This is my yeast, and this is one of those smack packs, and it's got a little thing here, but I'll get my assistant. There he is. He's good at hitting things, so just whack that packet, mate. Go on, give it a hit. Come on. No, that's not. Hang on, like that. See? Yeah, there you go. Good boy. Okay, so that will activate the yeast. I'm also making an ice cube to bring the temperature of the starter down a little bit faster than I have done before. So that'll go in the freezer, and so tomorrow my yeast will be activated and I'll have an ice cube. So then all I need to do is draw out a little sample of the wort. So here we go. This is what will become my starter. Obviously I've sort of skipped around a little bit in time here, but anyway, that's cooled down a little bit. Now the ice goes in, and then when that gets down to the right temperature for the yeast, then I'll grab my yeast. There it is, nice and puffy, and pour the yeast in. And this is American ale yeast. I think it's W something. Hang on, no, I don't have it in front of me. 104, 1,000, I don't know. Anyway, here's another thing. The postman's bin, and look at it, there's a new tap. I got a new tap because my other tap was broken, and so I couldn't do this straight away. So to hell with the old tap, there's the new tap. So this is another couple of days later now, and I'm giving my fermenter a good clean with sodium percarbonate. So, yeah. And, while I'm at it, I'll clean some bottles because it's good to use up as much good soaky stuff as you can. And that's the rest of it going together there. So, right, that was another day. Okay, now it's another day later, and this is all getting sanitized. So I think I brewed this on Saturday or Sunday. Now we're up to Tuesday, and this is everything getting sanitized, and in goes the wet. In we go. Now I'm ready to pitch the yeast. That's the yeast that's been starting. Oh, there's the actual yeast. So I'll just use a bit more to sort of break that up and get it all in there. There we go. And now and go to the last drops. That's pretty good. Good. Give it a stir, much oxygen as possible for the start, and into the fridge you go. And now I guess I'll connect up the that's the heat belt going on there, and this is the temperature probe. Shut the thing, switch it on. Okay, good. So that's going to ferment for a couple of weeks, and then it's time for the dry hop. So here's all my little dry hop guys, and those are the hops. And there's some more hops and some more hops and some more hops. And clearly, this dinky little guy is not going to do the job of holding all those hops. So I got these guys who are huge and mighty, and they will handle all the, I think, like more than 250 grams of hops in the end. So I'm just going to sanitize them by boiling them in water 15 minutes either side. So now, measuring out my hops, got some of that and some of that. Also some of this one. That's the Simcoe, some of that. More of that. A little bit of this. And some Amarillo, just a little bit of Amarillo. I'm not sure why they think that will be noticed, but there's a teeny tiny touch of Amarillo. And now the thing, I've got to funnel it into these guys, and it keeps getting stuck because, anyway, yeah, hard to pour the hops in there, so I had to use a funnel. Now the lids go on, and now this is like another week and a half down the track. Into the thing they go, and 1, 2. And now, as the light comes on, we're finally done. Yes, good job, Max. So this has been over the span of about 2 weeks, I think. It's taken me a hell of a long time, but anyway, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe, whatever you do, and thanks.